Holiday weekends tend to slow down the weekly market movement. I'm Tony with Clarence Santoro, and this is our real estate update for the week of Friday, May 23rd. We know that selling or buying a home can be very stressful and confusing. That's why we do these weekly videos, so you can know how the market is impacting your options as a home seller or buyer. And as always, I like to start off by looking at how the market performed over the past week. There are 70 homes on the market, which is 5 less than last week. The average asking price is up a little bit from $1,968,000 up to $2,012,000. 8 homes went pending, slightly more, just one more than last week. But the average asking price of those pending sales dropped significantly to $1,748,000, down from the $2,038,000, which probably just means that there were a significant number of sub $1.5 million homes that went pending this week. 8 homes closed this week, significantly more than last week, with the average sales price up a lot, up $2,297,000, up from the $2,025,000 we had last week. So now that we know how the market performed this past week, we can look at the broader trends and see where the market might be heading. Before we do that, if you find this information helpful, you can subscribe so you can stay up to date on how this market continues to shape up as we head into summer. And why not share this with a friend also? Everyone deserves to be in the know about their local real estate market. All right, let's take a closer look at the broader trends and numbers and what that might mean. Like I said, there are currently 70 homes on the market. Inventory dropped a little bit this week. That's not unexpected as we head into the holiday weekend. Most sellers try to avoid having the first week on the market during a holiday weekend, so we might see inventory jump back up next week. Turnover continued to improve this week, getting close to 60%, and has just been slowly creeping up over the past few weeks. And that's a continued trend, and hopefully that turnover rate continues to improve. We're still a long way from being at 100%, especially with how slowly that improvement has been going. But we welcome any improvements as they come. The over-under number also saw a small improvement this week, increasing to almost 1% over asking. Not to sound like a broken record, but although this is a small number, it shows that home values are holding. And with an anemic turnover rate, we would normally see this number fall into the under range, and so the fact that it's staying in the over number really gives us confidence that home values aren't dropping, even if some homes are taking longer to sell. Speaking of home values holding, the average sales price, the same is true about the average sales price, as it shows minor improvements this week. The average sales price has been very consistently in just over the $2 million range for the past several weeks, except for that one week where it jumped up significantly. And this week it's no different. With prices improving $16,000, we're at about $2,070,000 over asking, or average asking price, closing price. The stock market, including the tech equities fund that we pay attention to, softened a little bit this week. It ended about 1% lower than it did last week. That is in large part due to the economists saying they are concerned about how Trump's big, beautiful bill will affect the economy. At this point, it's still too speculative and not even through the Senate, so that we'll have to wait and see how any of this, if it has any lasting effects on the stock market, or if this is just a temporary knee-jerk reaction to the news cycle. Unfortunately, the interest rates didn't provide any good news to end on. Rates ticked up another 5 basis points. That change in the national average doesn't really have any significant or real impact on our market locally, but it does serve to remind buyers that the money they need to buy a home is going to remain significantly more expensive than it was a few years ago. And it will continue keeping sellers who might otherwise consider selling to move to purchase another home from doing so, because they've locked in their lower interest rates and have no interest in selling off their low interest rate mortgage for a higher interest rate mortgage. This week feels like the end of the school year, that time of year when you're just counting down the days till it's over, not feeling overly motivated to study or finish homework because summer break is right around the corner. Especially with this holiday weekend, the market just feels a little more sluggish than it was just a few weeks ago, when it already was pretty sluggish. Despite that feeling this week, it actually showed some signs of minor improvement in most of the trend lines that we pay attention to. Hopefully we will start seeing a little more movement soon as people start to come out of the malaise of the end of the school year. Thanks for joining me for this weekly update. I hope it helps you understand how our market is impacting your options. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can stay informed on how this market is continuing to shape up, especially as we head into summer. And if you have any specific questions about how you can navigate the stressful and often confusing process of selling or buying a home, leave a comment down below or reach out to us directly. We're here to help guide you every step of the way. Have a safe weekend, enjoy your holiday, and I'll see you next week with a new update.